Hi there. Welcome back to our next session on Android. In this session we will learn about Android activity and intent. So now let's start with Android activity. An activity is the single screen in Android. It is like window or frame of Java. The activity class is an important part of an application's overall life cycle, and the way activities are launched and put together is a fundamental part of the platform's application model. By the help of activity, you can place all your UI components or widgets in a single screen. Now let's understand about the various life cycles of Android activity. Android activity life cycle is controlled by 7 methods of Android.app activity class. The Android activity is the subclass of context theme wrapper class. The 7 life cycle method of activity describes how activity will behave at different states. You can see the diagram of activity life cycle methods. Let's understand the 7 life cycle methods of Android activity. On create, called when activity is first created. On start, called when activity is becoming visible to the user. On resume, called when activity will start interacting with the user. On pause, called when activity is not visible to the user. On stop, called when activity is no longer visible to the user. On restart, called after your activity is stopped, prior to start. On destroy, called before the activity is destroyed. Now let's see these life cycle methods through a program. You can see the life cycle methods invoking in logcat file. See the example carefully. Now let's see Android intent. Android intent is the message that is passed between components such as activities, content providers, broadcast receivers, services, etc. The dictionary meaning of intent is intention or purpose. So, it can be described as the intention to do action. It is generally used with start activity, method to invoke activity, broadcast receivers, etc. Android intents are mainly used to start the service, launch an activity, display a web page, display a list of contacts, broadcast a message, dial a phone call, etc. Now let's talk about types of intent. Implicit intent. Implicit intent doesn't specify the component. In such case, intent provides information of available components provided by the system that is to be invoked. Explicit intent. Explicit intent specifies the component. In such case, intent provides the external class to be invoked. We will see it with example. Let's take an example of implicit intent. You have to follow the steps. Now let's see Android start activity for result method. By the help of Android start activity for result method, we can get result from another activity. By the help of Android start activity for result method, we can send information from one activity to another and vice versa. The Android start activity for result method requires a result from the second activity. We will understand it with an example. In the given example, explicit intent is used to show start activity for result method. Watch the example carefully. Hope you liked the video. We will get to know more topics in our upcoming sessions. Till then, thank you.